Now, another person on the cancelled train, Josh Whedon. Now, I grew up watching Buffy, like most people, and Angel as well, and I haven't totally appreciated his Avengers films, but they're okay. I didn't like his Justice League, but I had no idea that he was such or rumoured to be such a horrible person. Basically, one of the actors, the actor who played Cyborg, and I've forgotten his name, I didn't write down the notes because I just made this on the spur of the moment. He claimed that Joss Whedon treated him badly, he was racist, discriminatory, things like that, and he complained, it was investigated, and it seems as though it was one of those investigations where it's not really taken seriously, and he basically was removed from the movie and said he basically wasn't going to go back anyway. And this is really not fair on the actor because now everyone else is coming out. People from Buffy are saying, yes, Joss Whedon abused me. Charisma Carpenter. Now, she came out and said a lot. She said that basically he called her fat. He made fun of her religion. He made it very difficult for her to have a baby during the show. And he accused her of trying to sabotage his show, self-involved narcissistic things like that. No woman has a baby to sabotage some producer's show. That level of just shows the kind of person he allegedly is. Now, is this the reason why Charisma is such a cunty person? Because I've met her in person and she said herself, she said, I'm cunty. I was cunty at the time. She used that word in front of children. And I'm like, wow. Apparently, though, she still has mental health issues stemming from the time that she spent being traumatized by Joss Whedon and working for him. So I have some sympathy for her, but I think she still needs to be a nicer person. But other people have come out. Sarah Michelle Gellar basically says, I stand by these people without actually saying anything herself, specifically. I guess being the star of the show, she was treated differently. But she still would have been part of the toxic work environment that apparently Josh created. Other stars like Michelle Trachtenberg, I think that's how you say her name, she said she wasn't allowed to be on set alone with Joss Whedon. Again, I think someone said, so that implied allegedly that something had happened or there was some reason to be concerned. There was another actor who came out, and these are all women, of course, basically saying that he created a hostile, toxic work environment and victimized these people and basically took the fun out of being on Buffy. And it looks like it might be true. A lot of people, and I think there's some racism here, a lot of people, when the Cyborg actor came out, because he's black, and said this, people were like, oh, you're just part of Black Lives Matter, you're just trying to be a victim, you're just trying to get attention, blah, 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 blah. Because there's this whole side of the right-wing media that plays down the Black Lives Matters movement and acts like it's just black people somehow wanting to capitalize on the movement, and somehow they're gaining something over trying to stop their brothers and sisters from being killed systematically, disproportionately to other people of other races. I just don't understand, basically, but it does that I don't understand. But it seems in this case that I don't think he got listened to. Like if he was a white female, he would have been listened to. And that's what happened. White females come out to support him in their credit, to their credit, and it's now like a dog pile and everyone's getting on it because the dam's broken, everyone's come out, but I find it frustrating this one black person was the first brave person to come out about this person, and he got cancelled almost, pretty much. He got pretty much fired from the show. He got removed from the show and then kind of quit. I don't know what happened first, but he's not in this film. He should have been in this film. He should have been in that film. He should have been able to play that character, enjoy the role, have an enjoyable artistic experience, and be in this film. But he didn't. He doesn't get to. That situation, that experience for him has been ruined and destroyed. And he came out and he got mocked, and people like I guess I may as well mention the people that bugged me a bit about it. A lot of people bugged me, but no, I won't mention anyone by name. But one of the YouTubers I watch, you know who I watch, they were trashing him and saying, "Oh, Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? Like he could make any specific claims and then not be accused. It doesn't work like that. The legal system doesn't work like that. You don't come out and just throw out all your claims in the public forum because you're going to get sued for slander and stuff like that. You have to go into a court and make these, or go into a tribunal or whoever is an investigation, and make your claims there. You can't just come out in public and make. So the idea that because he's not making any specific claims, it must just be Black Lives Matter propaganda. So I found that all very offensive. So I'm glad the other members have come out. I'm sad that Buffy now has been not slandered. What is it when it's been smeared now? So now when you watch Buffy, a lot of these actors weren't having fun. They were actually working in a really horrible, toxic work environment caused by the creator that they couldn't do anything about because he was God. And if you know anything about producers and executive producers on shows like that, they're basically God and they get to do whatever they want, and that's why they get away with it. I think Jessie Jenner did a video about that. How do creators, basically get to be like this and continue acting like this because they've got the power. So when I go back and watch Buffy, which I was planning to do in the near future because I haven't seen it for years, it's going to be a little bit harder to enjoy knowing what was happening behind the scenes. And that stuff always ruins stuff. Like Sex and the City, knowing that the Sex and the City girls don't like each other. That Kim Cattrall hated working on the show and doesn't want to go back. And that got really ugly too. I want to talk about that at some point. That got really ugly. Basically, Sarah Jessica Parker sent a message of condolence to Kim Cattrall when her brother died, and she basically said, "F off, you're just insulting me," and basically, it was just really ugly. That just got so ugly, and it's hard to then watch Sex and the City and know that's what was happening behind the scenes, and that's how the people feel. Kind of like watching the original Star Trek and knowing that all the actors were their roles were lessened by William Shatner's ego, and they all hate him. Or at least have issues with him because of what he did to their characters and what he did to their careers by making everything about him. It's difficult to watch the shows when this sort of stuff is happening behind the scenes. But that's enough. I'll talk for 7 minutes about that, but I just want to talk about that. Now, whether Joss will get totally cancelled, whether he will just apologise and promise to not create another toxic work environment, whether this was all done just to promote, some cynical people were saying, this is just all trumped up and brought up to make the Snyder Cut seem better because the Joss Whedon version was all part of a toxic work environment. It's all evil, and it's like, to make something look better, you sort of have to vilify something else. Like how the modern She-Ra trashed the original She-Ra and the creators and all that for no reason, to try and make their show look better. Some people are saying, they're just trying to make the Snyder Cut better by trashing Joss Whedon and calling him out. But I don't think so. For all the people coming forward, this is something that has been bubbling under for decades. And once you break that seal and someone speaks out, then everyone comes out because they know they're not going to be alone in this, and there's power in numbers. And that's usually how these sort of movements or things come about. But I'm going to go. I've been talking too long. I'm going to watch Buffy at some point, and I might do like a review of Buffy because I think it deserves a bit of a retrospective look back at it now, and as an adult also, because it was very much a teenage coming of age sort of series, and it worked on that level. And I'm not sure if it can work as an adult show and work and grow with people and go with people. So I kind of want to look at it in that way and see how it works now, watching that as an adult, and how the fan base sort of has grown with it or not grown with it, because Buffy hasn't had any spin-offs, hasn't had any movies. It hasn't sort of come back. There was talk of a reboot, and then a lot of people freaked out because they were apparently going to have a black Buffy or a black Slayer, and I'm like, they had a black Slayer. Why does it matter? That was a whole thing, but I think I'm going to have a look at that later on because I have to do a bit of research, because that sort of happened before. I was YouTubing and I didn't listen to it too much. I just didn't understand why people were being bothered by it. I think the idea, though, that with Buffy was this iconic sort of little blonde, classic sort of Hollywood vulnerable movie victim. So the idea of empowering that character was important, but I think the idea of empowering a black female is as important. So I don't see that, like, the Buffy sort of I can see it working. I don't see it any different. I don't see empowering that sort of character any different from the original sort of Hollywood sort of blonde. I do think it has merit, and I wasn't that bothered by the idea of it, but a lot of people were, and apparently it got cancelled because it looked like the fans weren't supporting it, because they didn't want that change or that level of change. But I'm going to have a look into that. I'm going to have a look at Buffy stuff, but I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of Joss Whedon. Do you think he'll get cancelled, or do you think he'll survive? I don't know.